How's it going, everybody? I'm Luke, and I'm joined with Joe, of course, for the Charging Buffalo podcast. It's been 3 weeks. The last episode was July 1st, if YouTube tells me correctly. Joe, how have you been since then?
Well, I've been fine, keeping myself busy. I've been
Good.
working a lot, watching The Office, life is good.
Mm-hmm. The Office will
Not a whole
never
lot
go
of
away.
yes, The Office. I love it.
It'll never go
I
away.
I started watching late, but you know what? I got more time on my hands lately,
Mm,
and
That's
yeah,
good.
it's consumed my life. I've watched it,
That's
I
good.
don't know, probably a week and a half now. I'm 6 seasons in.
Yes, it's a really great show. It really is. I
Mm,
was uh
I love it.
I was watching it when it was not something like a big deal or anything. I was watching when it was still on the air, but
Ooh,
I'm kidding.
The
I
Office
kid.
hipster.
I'm the office hipster. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Nothing much going on in the hockey
No,
world
nothing at
lately,
all.
so that's probably why we haven't spoken to you in 3 weeks. But I
Yeah.
feel like we just wanted to get something out there, so
Yeah.
there wasn't a month and a half break in between episodes.
hmm We know that there's always a need for Sabres coverage during the off season, and I think we are very eager to satisfy that because as fans, we've gone. I personally have gone through myself, Joe. I'm sure you have before we started doing this podcast, where we were looking on the iTunes or Google Play for anything
Exactly.
Sabres
Yeah.
or hockey related. But I hope we satisfy the need for you guys,
Yes.
even if it do be the dog days.
Yes. The dog days of the off season. I think we
hmm
said that
There's
a
our
couple
title
weeks
right there,
ago.
Dog Days.
It's this is the dog days of the off season. There's no other
hmm
way to put it.
Oh yeah.
But before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that I have a jersey addiction, and I tried putting a stop to it, but yesterday I just blew away $90 on another jersey. So
mm,
it's
wait,
not good. I have 33 now. I
which one?
had I got an authentic Finnegan of '07 alternate jersey.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you
It's
didn't tell me
beautiful.
about this. That's
I
nice.
had to get it. I had to get
Mhm.
it. It was just too good of a deal to pass up. Even though
Yeah.
I have a replica '07 alternate Briere,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna try and sell that to my friend.
I um I have a slug um home jersey that I got a few months ago at a when my work was doing a sale. And it's a blank. I don't know if I should put Daniel Briere, my favorite player of all time, on there, or Alesh Kotelik, one of my he was my boy back when I was like 7 years old. I loved his shootout skill.
Get Briere. But if you want to
Briere,
be different, get Kodalik. Not
I
many
know,
people have
but
Kodalik jerseys.
I can at least get the C on my
True.
Kotelik, not Kotelik on my Briere.
hmm
Then I have a blank Canadians jersey,
Oh,
but it's not old enough to
rough.
get like Wah, maybe Koivu.
Okay.
It might be
I
too
like
new
that.
though. I don't know. I'm a real stickler for
If
jersey
it's a
accuracy.
Reebok, you can get Koivu on it.
Right. That's okay. Yeah. But what if it's the as the lettering Reebok?
Mm.
Because that was like 2012
I
when they
wouldn't.
switched to that.
I wouldn't
Because
put
that
too
wouldn't
much
be
thought
accurate.
into that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I have 4 slugs. I
Mm-hmm.
have probably 3, 4 sets of the jerseys they have right now, and
Oh,
the previous one, the
why?
Reebok set. I don't know. I'm crazy, but I'm
Wait,
trying to
do
cut
you don't
back.
have like you don't have like two blanks of the currents and like
I
two
have
blanks like of the
middle stat.
whites?
I have the blue
Okay.
middle stat that they wear now, the white Dowling that they wear now,
Mm-hmm.
the Eichel Winter Classic with number 15. Oh, we got to talk about the number change as well. We didn't think
Mm-hmm.
about that when we were talking before this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Eichel 15, blue and white in the Reebok set. I had a blank blue and white Reebok set, but I gave one of them to my friend because
Oh.
he didn't have a jersey. Because I'm a
Oh.
swell guy.
You are a
Uh,
very swell guy.
I'm just going off the cuff here. What else do I have? I have a game-worn Philip Gogola jersey.
With blood on it.
Yes, there's a blood stain on it as well.
Was he
Yeah,
47?
yes, number 47, Philip Gogola.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Taro Sugimoto royal blue jersey, a autographed Dominic Hasek jersey.
Oh.
I have University of Minnesota Middlestat jersey,
Mm-hmm.
Boston University Eichel jersey, a Frölunda Dahlin jersey, a Sweden Dahlin jersey, a USA Eichel jersey, number 9, a USA Middlestat jersey, number 11. I have a red Butter Knives Marty Baron autographed jersey. Just off the top of my head, I have many more, but
you bought that online, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get all my jerseys off eBay.
Yeah.
If you like jerseys, eBay is your best bet because
eBay's the way to go.
That is the only place where you can get those vintage jerseys, and sometimes you can find some amazing deals.
Find a $40 Thrashers jersey.
I've been looking for Thrashers jerseys for a while now, and I can't really find a good deal for the most part. But yeah, it is what it is.
I have a card addiction, trading card addiction.
Oh yes, you do.
Yeah, I have numerous Connor McDavid autographs that I've pulled. Not numerous, I have 2. And they combine to be worth $1,200. So then I have
and
a
that's
Patrick.
Just now. Just
that's
wait.
just now. Yeah,
30 years.
There's a Patrick Laine auto. I don't know, maybe 200. And I have Eichel and Matt. So I'm very active in the hobby. I like to rip packs, sit back, relax, and rip packs after a long day at work.
Yeah, I used to do cards like back in 2008, 2009.
Do it again. It's so fun.
See, I just got out of that jersey addiction, or maybe I'm going right back in.
You're relapsing.
Yeah, but really? Yeah, I don't think I can do the cards again. I have a Wayne Gretzky rookie card. That's the most valuable one that I've got. It's not in the best shape though, because it was in a shoebox for about 40 years.
Someone out there is going to hear that is like a diehard collector and say it's blasphemy.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's like my aunt's. Okay, but anyways, shall we get into the podcast? Okay.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So I really wanted to talk about the O'Reilly trade again because if you remember the last time we did one of these, the O'Reilly trade broke probably a good 5 minutes before we were going to start. So
yes,
the shock.
We also had Jared on the show.
Yes, we also had Jared. That was fun. That was fun. If you haven't listened to that one yet, go check it out. But yes, so if you don't remember what they got Tage Thompson, a 2019 first-round pick, a 2021 second-round pick, Vladimir Sabatka, and Patrick Berglund for Ryan O'Reilly. So what are your thoughts on the trade looking back now that you had time to think about it?
Sabatka for a long time has been one of my boys. I remember when he came back from the KHL a few years ago in the playoffs and scored that double overtime goal. And he had a really good playoff that year, really good series at least, and he only played one game in that regular season. I like Berglund. It's almost like a full line that we got, so that's good. I mean, you got 3 guys that can replace. I mean, hopefully one of them kicks Larson out of the lineup. That's what I'm really hoping for. Just to get rid of the dead weight like Nolan, Pouliot, who had some good. Pouliot had some good stretches last year, but I think he's shot, but he's gone. So guys like him are being replaced. Griffith, Chris Kulo are out of that bottom 6 now because we brought in Berglund and Sabatka. So I like it from a depth standpoint and an entertainment standpoint because there's a lot of new faces and players to look forward to. And Tage Thompson as well. Nice young piece there.
And if you remember the 2010 playoff series against Boston, Sabatka was on the Bruins at that point, and if I remember correctly, he was very good for them. He might have even scored a big goal as well. And,
I don't remember that I don't remember it vividly him on the Bruins in that series, but from what people said, he was a saber killer in that series.
Yes,
I mean,
he was very, very good. And
yeah,
then now Miroslav Shatan with that overtime goal winner. Oh,
signed after the Olympics.
yep.
Hmm.
Wow,
I
imagine
ran up.
if they kept Shatan for 05,
Mhm.
06. That would have been nice.
I know if we had Shatan that day, I don't want to go too off topic, but I just want to say during that two OT game where Shatan scored, when
I
the second
remember
OT
that was
started,
soul crushing.
so 10-year-old me ran up to my room and turned on the new episode of South Park because it was a Wednesday night, and I was just like, I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm not gonna sulk because I know what's coming.
Yeah, that overtime game, that I think I fell asleep when I was watching that. I remember I was watching it with my dad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was just because they were that team, it was just so good. They won the division. It was a year
Yeah,
where
we had 100 points.
Miller went to the Olympics and was
He won the
amazing.
Vezina.
Yeah, he won the Vesna.
Mm-hmm.
Myers won the Calder. That was probably the last really good Sabres team that I can remember.
That
Nowhere
season,
close to the Briere Drury teams, but
oh
they
no,
were still a very good team. And you know what? If you think about it, that's not really far removed from the Briere Drury teams.
it's
Oh five,
not. It was two
oh six, oh
years.
seven. It's a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that season, just one last point on this was what if Ryan Miller didn't have that year, then he's not like a Hall of Fame guy in my mind, like he is
I
now.
don't think he's a Hall of Fame. I
Oh,
don't know. That might be a hot
I think
take,
he
but
is.
I
I
don't think
think
he's a Hall of Famer. I
I
don't
think he
know.
is. That's for a
No
future
Stanley Cup.
episode.
No, yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
No Stanley Cups.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it. Wait, didn't Chris Osgood make the Hall of Fame this year or last year? I don't think so, right?
I don't think I remember hearing his name.
I thought I heard his name, but I don't. Chris Osgood does not strike me as a Hall of Famer. Just
Hey,
just
future
went
episode.
off on a tangent there. Okay.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the O'Reilly trade. Some people have called it armed robbery for either team. I think it's a good trade for
It's a
both
good trade.
sides.
Mm-hmm.
The Blues get what they need in a top two centerman that can play big minutes, and the Sabres get what they need in players that can play now, players that can play in the future, and draft picks. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay for both teams to like the trade. I don't think either team really, was the clear winner here. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the Blues got the best player in the trade for now, but when you're trading a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, you're not going to be getting a player equal caliber back. So
I know. I know. I'm happy with it because it's weeks after the fact, and I'm still not upset. I'm still
yeah, exactly.
content with what each team got. It was very, very generous compensation, I believe, for us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the first round pick is huge. Having
Mm-hmm.
3 first round picks, that gives you multiple avenues where you
Yeah,
can go
make another
towards.
trade.
They could just trade up. You can trade one of them for a young scoring winger. You can trade one of them for a defenseman. Like, there's many options that the Sabres have with having 3 first round picks. Now I have to do more research on the 2019 draft. I've kind of been putting that off because I've just, I did so much going into the 2018 draft and just kind of want to take a break from prospects for a little bit, but that's common. Because, I don't think the Sabres are going to be that great next year. They're probably going to be about an 80-point team. We'll probably talk about this a little more as we get into the episode. But, they're probably going to have another top 10 pick and then 2 more picks in the late teens to early to mid 20s. And that's pretty big. I know this draft is pretty deep and there's some good defensemen in there as well. A guy that I really like is Cole Caulfield. He's like 5'9", but he is a dynamic winger, and I would love to have him. And he would look amazing alongside of Casey Middlestat or Jack Eichel, and an American as well. So Cole Caulfield, if the Sabres are picking like 8, 9, or 10, that's the player that I'm already zeroing in on, and it's late July.
Yeah, this offseason, Bottrell he's really impressed me. I regret being so critical of him during the Kane debacle, but he he knows how to he knows how to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He knows how to do it. And getting the picks, the veteran players, you wouldn't see that with Tim Murray. He wouldn't get veteran players like that.
What if Tim Murray was still the GM of the team? That's what I because
Uh
like remember he in his last presser he was like, I promise Jack I'm going to turn this around. Like I want to know what was his plan. What was Tim's plan to turn this around? Because he could not evaluate defensemen. That is probably the biggest gripe that I had with him because he thought, you know, Braden McNabb, like, he's a good defenseman. Mark Pesic is a good defenseman. You know, he did trade Nikita Zadorov, but did get Ryan O'Reilly back. You know, he had good pieces on defense and just could not build it back up. That was my big problem with him.
Tim Murray.
Dmitry Kulikov, you know, it's just
Yeah.
what happened? Because like if you look at what the situation is now, you know, of course it's a little different because they have Jack Eichel and Rasmus Dahlin. It's very similar to what they had in the cupboard going into like the 2014 and 15 draft. They had a lot of picks. They have a lot of good prospects, and I'd say this prospect pool that they have right now is probably the best it's been in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, hindsight 2020, but like around 2013-14, guys like Justin Bailey, Nick Baptiste, those guys were considered very, very good prospects, but of course none of them turned out, as of right now at least. But, you know, there's still some time for these guys. It's a big year for Cliff Poo, Rasmus Asplund. Those guys are turning pro this year. They're going to be in Rochester. We need to see what they can do.
I'm very happy that we still brought back Baptiste and Bailey on 1-year deals.
Yeah, Baptiste, Bailey, O'Regan,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Malone,
CJ
CJ
Smith.
They all got 1-year deals. Kind of prove it to me deals.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry, it's a phone ringing in the background, but it's less of a problem if these guys don't produce now because of what else we have.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Because those guys were
good,
considered top
mid-tier
prospects,
guys.
but
Mm-hmm.
you know, if one of them can come up on a call up and contribute, I don't know, 15, 20 points, I'd be content with that, you know.
Right.
Oh, and I just want to touch on Berglund and Sabatka really quick, and Thompson as well. But if you think about it, they've replaced Jordan Nolan, Jacob Josephson, and
I forgot about him.
Benoit Pouliot with those three guys, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Their bottom six immediately gets better, and I think Thompson is capable of playing. I'm Tage Thompson because that guy, for a big man, he can skate, he can rip the puck, he's got that shot mentality that Phil Housley's always talking about when they just refuse to shoot the puck. And excited to have, and he's young. He's like, I think he's probably 20, might be 21.
He's 20
I'm not
years
sure,
old,
but
I believe.
yeah.
At the time of the trade,
I'm
he was
really
20.
excited. Yeah. I'm really excited about him. You know, Berglund's contract is long. I believe there's 4 years left, but, you know, that shouldn't be a big problem. And Sabatka is 2 years left, which, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, if Sabatka and Berglund are on your third and fourth line, that's okay, because I've been preaching this for, you know, like 9 months now. You need to improve the bottom six. It's a must. And Bottrell has done just that. He's went out and got Scott Wilson, Berglund, Sabatka, make your bottom six better. And then hopefully, you know, Nick Baptiste continues to earn a spot down there. So, you know, on paper, I think they're a better team, even with Ryan O'Reilly being traded away. And I'm excited to see what this new young core can do. And now for, I don't know, how many years has it been? 6 years. We've been waiting for this young team to finally come up together, and Bottrell has finally assembled that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. You know, everyone was excited going into last season. Everyone thought that playoffs were a legitimate possibility last season, and my God, that did not happen. But, we were under the impression that a coaching change was the only thing that was going to change anything, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Right. It's so the youth that we have now. It's so exciting. It's
Yes,
a
it's
brand
very
new
exciting.
hope. Mm-hmm.
They might not be good, but my God, they're going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I
They're
hope.
promising at the very least,
Mm-hmm.
and fun to watch. They will be. It's going to be much better hockey to watch. It
Yeah, I just
reminds
want
me
to see
of
goals.
it's the excitement going into the Eichel season all over again.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah.
we mentioned that the last episode.
Yeah.
But how many I don't remember the exact amount of one goal losses that they had, but if Hutton and Allmark, that's probably an upgrade over Leonard and Johnson last year. If they can steal, a handful of games, and if they can score more goals, you just never know. Like, I don't want to write them off completely. I'm just being realistic. I don't think that they're going to be a playoff team. I think
Right.
they're going to be, they're going to get back on track, 80, 85 points, 78, 80 to 85 points. That's probably what I would predict. And, as long as they get back on track, show me that this is going to work. That's what
Yes.
I want to see. After the tank year, Buffalo, I think they had like 81, 82 points. Show me that. Be 500 at the very least. And if you want to, reach for the stars and be a playoff team, go ahead.
Yeah.
But just show me that we're heading in the right direction next
I
season.
just want to be truthfully above 500.
Yes. Not
Just
that.
give me that.
If my memory serves me correct, this team has not been at 500, actual 500 or above 500 since 2013, the lockout year, when they won their
Since we
first
beat the
game against the
Flyers.
Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
That is, how is that even possible? I don't even understand. Like, that's how bad they've been at the start of every season for the last 5 years.
I'll tell you what,
That is
if
ridiculous.
they can just give me a win against the Bruins to start the year and let me go on the NHL app and see that we're in a playoff spot. I don't
First
care
place.
if it's for one day.
Yeah.
That'll be enough to get me through the first month.
Yeah, me and my friend, we're buying tickets for opening night. We're gonna be sitting center ice, row 5. We're gonna spend like $500, but we don't care.
How much do you think, real quick, like a 300 level ticket would be for opening night?
I think they're like $40.
Really?
I checked yesterday. Yeah.
Wait, they went on sale?
They're on StubHub.
Oh, are they season ticket holders?
I would assume so.
Okay, because individual tickets didn't go on sale yet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be there.
Oh, baby.
I'm gonna be there. I'm very excited.
Oh, baby, that's more than doable.
I do not want to get my hopes up, but my God, just being there when Rasmus Dahlin is introduced as a member of the Buffalo Sabres for the first time. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Wow. And he's a Sabre. Like, has that sunken in for all of you that Rasmus Dahlin is a Buffalo Sabre?
Because, it has not for me yet.
Running our social media accounts, the Instagram primarily, but, we were using hashtag all in for Dahlin for almost the whole season, and just hearing they're going to lose the lottery, Buffalo's cursed, blah, 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 for 7 months straight. I'm just like, oh my God, please win it so I don't have to hear this anymore. And this is the conspiracy theory that I like to hear, but I don't know if anyone else is going to want to like to hear this. But 2014 and 2015, Buffalo picked second overall back-to-back years. 2016, 2017, eighth overall back-to-back years. So if that trend continues where they get the same pick 2 years in a row, Buffalo should be picking first overall this year. So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe Jack Hughes.
I can
if they get Jack Hughes, if they win the lottery and get Jack Hughes, I don't know what they're gonna do, because there's no chance that they're gonna be able to pay all of these players. So speaking of paying players, Sam Reinhart.
There we go.
Restricted free agent that is yet to be signed. What do you think? Bridge deal, long-term deal? What should the Sabres do here?
We will get it done, but I am fully expecting a bridge year or a bridge deal of 2 or 3 years at
Hmm.
like 5 million.
Yeah, I'm expecting a bridge deal. That's what
Mhm.
I'm expecting the Sabres to do. But I'm hoping for a long-term deal and hopefully a pretty team-friendly deal. I don't know why I feel this way, but I have a feeling that they're going to get Reinhardt on a very, very good contract, probably below what he's worth. That's just my guess. And no, Calgary just signed Hampus Lindholm Elias Lindholm, sorry,
Yeah, I got that
to a
too. Yeah.
6-year deal. I believe it was under 5 million. So
Mhm.
and if you look at Lindholm's stats, it's not all that different than Reinhardt. They should probably, if that's probably the best comparable you're going to find, Elias Lindholm for Sam Reinhardt. I don't know, but if they can get him on a 6-year deal at 5 million, that would be fantastic. If that's possible, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer, if you're going to sign him to a bridge deal, do not, like, I think it's four. If you go to 4 years, that's when he can hit unrestricted free agency. So I'd rather see the 2 or 3 year deal. So you got him at RFA one more time, and then I think he'd probably be arbitration eligible at that point. And then I'd like to see a 7-8 year deal. 6 years I'd be fine with, but if you can get him as here locked up as long as possible, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too long before we see a deal done. There hasn't been much news about negotiations.
Hmm.
It'll get done. Like I said, I'm not expecting anything long term at the moment. I think all we need right now is just simple bridge deal. I think that's more than fair for both sides.
Yeah, that's what I think they're gonna do. I'd like to see the long-term deal though,
Mhm.
because that's how you win. Because you're taking a chance, like what Nashville does with their RFAs. They give them the long-term deal, and then people are wondering, "Wow, how do they have this much cap space and
Mhm.
have the means necessary to go out and get PK Subban or a Kyle Turris?" And that's why, because they take their chances and give the long term deal. So I'd like to see them give out a long term deal to Reinhardt, and if they can get him less than 5.5, 6 million on a long term deal, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now just general thoughts on the off season. It could be Buffalo, around the NHL. What are you thinking? Winners, losers of the off season? Let's hear
Okay.
it.
Well, let me start with this. I have two thoughts. One, Toronto won't be as good as everyone is kind of hyping them up to be. They're going to
Yeah.
be a good team. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not a Stanley Cup contender out of thin air. There's way too many questions still. You have Tavares, you have Matthews, you have Marner, and you have Nylander and Kadri, but there's still the defense that needs to be helped out. You can't have a 37-year-old, 40-year-old Ron Hainsey on your first pairing. I'm not sold on Frederik Andersen. I've always been a critic of his. I think he let a few softies in the playoffs. He's very prone to letting in softies, actually, if you watch his play. And secondly, the New York Islanders, I don't think they're in as bad a spot. They're losing another 80 points with Tavares leaving, I know, but Barzell has them in good hands. They still have good depth. They have guys like Ladd, Eberle, Anders Lee, who can still score. So I don't think they're going to be bottoming out. I don't think they'll be in the playoffs, but I think they'll be around the 10th place, 11th place range in the Eastern Conference. Um, I'll let you share some, and then I'll think because I've had quite a few thoughts in this offseason.
Okay, on Toronto,
Mhm.
they did lose a big chunk of players, but adding Tavares, that's huge for them. And then,
Mhm.
of course, adding guys from the Toronto Marlies that just won the Calder Cup, like Andreas Johnson, and then a
Travis
couple other
Dermott.
guys. Yeah, Travis Dermott will be up there full time as well. I think they're gonna have another 100-point season. They're a playoff team. I would say that they're a Stanley Cup contender because having that much top end talent, and if their defense can, because their defense got them to the playoffs last year. They had a 100-point season with that mediocre defense core. So if they can just, you know, improve by adding guys like Travis Dermott, and maybe if Timothy Liljegren slides into the lineup as well, you know, they're I think they'll be a better team. I would say that they can probably get out of the first round of the playoffs. If they don't get out of the first round of the playoffs, that's when you probably start raising concerns and
Mhm.
question marks start to arise. On the Islanders, I really think they're going to be a bad team. I just don't see it. They added Leonard, which that's probably going to be fun watching Sabres Islanders games on looking at Sabres
Yes.
Twitter. Everyone's gonna be roasting Leonard, but yeah, I just don't see it. I didn't like the Islanders when they had Tavares, and when they lose John Tavares, it's not going to be a good look. The Minnesota Wild are my second favorite team because I have family from Minnesota, and I think it's going to be a rude awakening for them. I really think this is the year where they are going to fall off a cliff.
Mhm.
The Devils, this is a team where I think they're going to take a step back. They did absolutely nothing this offseason, and they have
Mhm.
probably one of most cap space, the most cap spaces. Yeah, okay, that came out wrong. They have the most cap room in the league, very up there with the Islanders, I believe. And Colorado, I think they're gonna probably fall off. I'm not sure. Last season, I don't want to call it a fluke, but I don't know
They
if
have
they're
something to
going to be
prove
able to
still, I
keep
think.
that up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Vegas is going to fall off. If Vegas doesn't make the playoffs next year, I would not be surprised at all. You
Mhm.
know,
Same.
yeah.
We have this generally the same feeling on that. I
Mhm.
think we tend to.
Ottawa, the Ottawa Sounders are going to be a complete and utter disaster again next year,
Mhm.
and they're going to give the Colorado Avalanche a top 10 pick. I'm very excited to see that. Oh,
I
did you see the leaked logos that
yes,
Ottawa sent out to
actually
their season ticket holders?
yes.
Horrible.
Horrible except for the top three. Well, no,
I'd
actually,
like
like
just give
five.
give their fans the vintage logo.
I
I
know.
hate their
Just bring
logo
back
that they have right now. Just bring back the original one.
just bring back the 2D Senator. Just do it.
Hmm.
Like
And bring back the black and red jersey. Just the
yes,
black with the red string. I love black and red.
yes,
It's just great.
yes.
Please
The one that
do it
Derek
for your
Prince scored on
fans,
the net.
Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Montreal, I don't think they're gonna get much better, especially if they trade Max Pacioretty for futures. It's time to commit to a rebuild, Montreal. Please do it. Actually, don't do it. Don't do it because that only helps out Buffalo.
If I may interject, I think the Oilers are going to rebound this year.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
so too.
there's just McDavid. You can't lose for that long with McDavid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And I think they made some good moves too, like depth moves. They had Kevin Gravel. They got Tobias Reeder from Arizona because they didn't qualify. I mean, from LA because they didn't qualify him. So yeah, I think Edmonton will be as bad as they were last year. And, a healthy Oscar Clefbaum will do wonders for them, I believe. And Cam Talbot, if he can rebound from a mediocre season last year, that'll help out a lot too.
their defense is still pretty good too. You have Darnell Nurse. I think
It's
people
not
forget.
that bad.
I think people
Yeah.
underestimate Nurse.
Darnell Nurse,
Sekera's still there.
Adam Larson, Oscar
Adam Larson.
Clefbaum,
So at
Gravel.
least their top four defensemen they're in good shape there. They have Matt Benning too. He was promising last year.
Yeah, Matt Benning, I forgot about
Mhm.
him. It's going to be terrible. I don't know what they're going to do with
Who was
all
that?
of
Sorry.
those players that they have. Vancouver.
Yeah.
They have a lot of players that they have on the roster. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade any of them. They're probably going to end up losing some guys on waivers because they just have too many guys there.
I don't know if you saw what Troy Stetcher said yesterday after re-signing, but he said it's time to win some hockey games.
I don't know about
that. Yeah, I just
Oh, you're a Jets fan. Do you think the Jets are
yes.
going to be able to replicate their success from last year?
I'm frightened. Okay. I'm frightened that they're gonna be one of those teams that kind of falls off. It's just they have so much talent. They're not like a team like the Blue Jackets where they go on that huge winning streak 2 years ago and
Mm-hmm.
are tops in the East, then fall a couple spots this year. I think they still have the talent. I don't think they can. They certainly aren't going to surpass Nashville this year for the division title. Um, I I think they're going to be a good team again. They're going to be a good team simply because the breakout. Scheifele had an unreal, certainly his breakout season last year. Uh, they still have their core locked up. I'm very excited. I'm getting excited again. They're still a deep team. They still have good bottom guys like Matthew Perot, who I'm a huge fan of. So they still have great guys like that. Nick Patan might finally be getting into the lineup because they clearly made room, I think, for Patan to break into the lineup instead of there was some speculation they trade him, but they got rid of Armia. Um, who else did they clear out from their bottom six? I can't think of all the trades off my head, but I think they're going to be a good team. Either around the same spot, maybe they'll drop to like third in the Central, but they'll still be top three in the division.
Oh yeah, they're a
Mhm.
surefire playoff team. I'm looking at the
Yeah,
Central Division right now. I don't think Chicago is going to make the playoffs again. I don't
yeah.
really see it. Colorado fringe playoff, Dallas fringe. I don't think
Hmm.
Minnesota makes it. Nashville's a surefire team. The
Hmm.
Blues should make it, and the
Yeah.
Jets should make it too. And looking at the
Yes.
Pacific, Anaheim, I'm not sure if they're a sure thing. Arizona, this is my bold prediction. I think the Coyotes are going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
That's my
I hope
bold
so.
prediction.
I hope so.
The way they played at the end of the season last year was amazing.
Hmm.
I hated what they did at the draft. They passed on Phillips Zadina for Barrett Hayton, who I believe I had like 20th on my draft board.
Hmm.
He just didn't impress me a whole lot, but I think he's going to have a really good junior role.
Think of how
Yeah, I
great.
like the acquisition for Max Domi as well, and I think if Dylan Strome can step in, he'll be a solid second, third line contributor. And I don't think a lot of people have been calling out Dylan Strome as a bust and everything, but you know what? Should he have been third overall pick in 2015? Hindsight 2020, probably not. But that was phenomenal. His point production in the American League was great, and I think he's still going to be a very good player. And if Clayton Keller continues to have success, I think the Coyotes are going to like a good team someday. I'm really excited to see what they can do. And Antti Ranta and him, I think, to a long time. So, and he had a really good year last. Excited to see the Coyotes next year. I think they're going to improve as well. Hamilton, but they did get Noah Hannafin, Elias Lindholm. They had James Neal. Who else did Calgary add? Can't think of anything else on the top of my head.
You said
But I
Hannafin,
think
right?
they're going to be an improved team. They should be. Yeah, Noah Hannafin from
Hmm.
Carolina. They should be an improved team. I think they should be. Edmonton should be improved as well. We talked about them earlier. What are they doing? When did Dean Lombardi become the GM of the Kings again? They keep adding these older players. They did. I think the Kings are a better team with Ilya Kovalchuk. And who else did the Kings add? I can't think of it, but
They re-signed
yeah,
Doughty.
I think
A lot of people didn't think they were going
yes,
to be
they
able to
did
do
sign
that.
Doughty to a long-term extension, 8 years, 11 million. So the Kings should be a playoff team in theory, but you just never know. The Sharks are better. They have Kane. They signed him long term. Yeah.
And a lot of people have them
Are
as a
you
cup
hoping
contender.
the Sharks make the? We should Sabres fans should be hoping the Sharks make the playoffs, correct? Because they had the option to
Oh,
defer the
absolutely.
pick to 20.
Yeah.
If they squeak in and then get bounced early in the 16th pick. Vancouver, they're going to be terrible. Vegas, I think they probably make the playoffs, but do not be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
They fall,
Okay,
of
the
course.
Metro Division, Carolina. I think Carolina finally gets over the hump. I really like what they did in the offseason. It was going to make them a much better team. And adding Dougie Hamilton, number one defense. I don't know about number one defenseman, but certainly and Dougie Hamilton really helps them out a lot. And they also added Calvin DeHaan. So I'm excited to see what Carolina can do. And, Peter Mrazek is their number one goalie. I don't know. There's some question marks there, but, what did they get for Jeff Skinner as well, traded before the season starts as well. The Blue Jackets are a surefire playoff team, in my opinion. I don't know because I think Artemi Panarin gave, there's no more business being done after training camp. So
Yeah.
that's something to keep an eye out for. New Jersey, I think they take a step back. The Islanders are going to be terrible. The Rangers are going to be probably picking in the top 8 or so, just like last year. I don't see them taking a step. The Flyers, I think they're going to be better. They had JVR, so he makes them a better team. The Penguins and Capitals, those teams are going to be contending for the Stanley Cup again. Okay, now a little Atlantic Division preview. I think we did this last year, and this is probably one of our most listened to episodes talking about the Atlantic Division. So, you want to start with Boston?
Yeah, I think Boston's going to be good again. A lot of people, for some reason, think they were a fluke last year. I think it was because of their bad start, but they're a very young team. They mix with some very good veterans. Their goaltending's still there. I think they're going to be near the tops in the Atlantic again.
Mm-hmm. And what did they do? They just signed John Moore. I don't really recall any other big moves from Boston. But yeah, they're still going to be a playoff team, I think. I think the big three, it's Boston, Tampa, Toronto. Those are the three teams that are going to come out. And then you look at Buffalo and Florida as the fringe teams that might be able to squeak in. And then I just don't see any way how Detroit, Montreal, or Ottawa are going to make it.
It's nice because I think
that Buffalo's not in that, crap category anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. We're better than 3 teams in the division, I think. Anything less is a disappointment. But how else would it be if at the end of the year we can say we were technically 2 spots out, 2 spots out of a playoff spot if we finish 5th.
Would be nice. That would be nice.
Be great.
Yeah, Florida added Mike Hoffman. I really like them adding Hoffman. That adds some scoring to their lineup, and they signed Bogdan Kiselevich too, free agent out of the KHL. So let's see what he can do. I'm interested to see if Luongo continues to have success there. I wonder if he's going to be able to take. And they signed Hutchinson too out of Winnipeg. I wonder what they're going to do because they have the 3 goalies. I don't know if they're going to end up waiving Hutchinson or not.
I think Hutchinson will definitely play in the AHL.
Because they have Reimer too.
I think it's Reimer and Luongo are going to split time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like Luongo. I hope he continues to be a great goaltender in the NHL.
Man, Florida had a great year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just missed out.
They missed out by a point.
I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh.
I think they had that big surge at the end of the season. I don't really remember. Last season was just such a blank because, how bad Buffalo was.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I want to try and forget that. Detroit, they brought back Mike Green and they brought back Thomas Vanek. What are they doing there? I think they got a case of denial, if you ask me.
They will never learn. They'll never learn.
Like, they're building up all these picks. They had a very last in 2018, but just bottom out. They need Jack Hughes more than anything. They need Jack Hughes because you look at what else these other teams in the division have. Tampa, they got Kucherov and Stamkos. Toronto, Matthews, Tavares, and their other good young players. And then you look at Florida, they got Barkov. Detroit, what do they have down the middle? Dylan Larkin. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not anything close to Eichel. I don't even think when Middlestat hits his ceiling, I don't think Larkin will be anywhere near him. And Boston's got Bergeron, he's getting older, but
I'm not sold on
Pasternak too.
Detroit's surrounding pieces. I can't even think of many young guys that they have. I'm not sold on them.
They have Afanasiu, they have Anthony Mantha, but up front they're pretty thin.
But Mantha was supposed to be a huge get, and he's already on a bridge deal. So they're already hoping for him to.
He scored 20 last year or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like their defense either. Their defense is pretty weak. I don't think Jimmy Howard is
probably their best guy.
DeKaiser isn't even that good, I don't think. Yeah. And he's signed to a very bad contract as well. So, and they have a lot of no move clauses. They're just Detroit's in trouble. Detroit is in trouble. I hope the NHL is better when Detroit's good, but I just don't see it. And I don't think them signing Ken Holland to an extension was the best decision for their future. Although they do have some, Philip Zadina, Joe Veleno, Jonathan Bergeron, and Jared McIsaac as their first 4 picks in the draft. That's that's great.
There's reason for optimism for the future.
Yeah,
That no doubt.
exactly. They need to build up on their defense. Of course, they drafted Jared McIsaac in the second round. They have Philip Hronik, who was in the AHL last year, who might be able to step into their lineup. Who else do they have?
I'm sorry.
Guy drafted in 2016. His name's escaping me.
I'm
Dennis
sorry to say this.
Cholowski.
Who are the goaltenders there then? Howard and like Antoine
Howard.
Debeau?
No,
Like
it's
Cappy
Howard.
Roulet?
Howard
One of those guys.
No, Jared Coro left. Oh,
Yeah.
Bernier. They signed Bernier.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, Detroit, they're a mess to me. Montreal, they're a mess. I just, if Carey Price doesn't have another Vezina caliber season, I don't see how
Poor Carey.
they could even have
Carey.
hope. They still don't have even a top 2 center. Jonathan Drouin is good, but he's not a centerman.
No.
And their defense is very weak. Shea Weber, Shea Weber had surgery. He's missing part of the beginning of the season.
Out till like December, I believe.
Yeah, they're screwed. Montreal, it's not looking pretty. And I like to beat the dead horse, the Ottawa Senators. What are they doing? I don't know. They did nothing in the offseason. Nothing. I don't even know if they're going to trade Erik Karlsson anymore. They're screwed. Ottawa is a mess. There's no other way to describe it. They are a complete and utter disaster. They're going to be terrible next year, and they're going to lose out on a guy like Jack Hughes, Capo Caco, or Alex Newhook for Brady Tkachuk. So, enough said. And, they haven't signed Tkachuk yet, so it's looking like he's going back to school. I thought they would probably try and leverage him to turn pro, because Tkachuk can help him out now. I think Tkachuk can play in the NHL, at least in a top 9 role. So, I don't know. Especially, and imagine if they trade Karlsson. That's the thing. They're going to be terrible with Karlsson on their team.
It's terrible because Karlsson is a Senator, and he always will be a Senator in my mind. And just to see that owner in the way of that, a guy who doesn't even play on the ice, it hurts me inside. It hurts my soul.
How terrible must this feel for Ottawa fans? Because they have good fans. That's a great hockey market.
It is.
And this is probably worse than losing Briere and Drury, although they're going to get something back for him. But this is just a horrible situation. Their ownership is dreadful. It's the worst situation in the NHL, worse than Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're in debt. The owner is too cheap to do anything on the ice.
Carolina has better ownership than a Canadian team. Think of that.
This is brutal.
That's bad.
And I saw yesterday Elliot Friedman said that Karlsson would prefer to stay, but not in this circumstance. So is Melnick ever going to sell this team? Does Karlsson want to sign an extension and just kind of wait it out for an ownership change? I don't know, but it's just awful.
You never heard a bad thing about Karlsson ever.
Yeah.
Why don't they pay the man? He's the best defenseman maybe in the NHL. He's a good guy. He's a great player. He's the franchise. What is the wait for? It's like the Steelers with Le'Veon Bell, I feel like. If we may cross sports here. What are you waiting for?
They're cheap. No, I said it last time. They're going to offer him, I think it was 8 years, $10 million. Karlsson's going to laugh at it, and then they're just going to tell their fans that they tried. That's not good enough. And
cheap ownership is the downfall of every team. It happened to the Sabres.
When was the last time a penny pinching team won the Stanley Cup? When? You have to spend to the cap to win the Stanley Cup. I can't think of any. I can't think of anything. Anaheim, maybe. I don't remember how close to the cap they were.
Anaheim was loaded though. Yeah. They had Pronger, the Niedermeyers.
Anaheim's a cap. A budget team now. I don't remember.
Maybe.
They were back in 07.
I think Getzlav and Perry were still on ELCs.
Yeah, Getzlav and Perry were still very young at that time.
Solani was only.
They had Niedermeyer, Pronger, right?
They had Solani. They had Kunitz on an ELC, I believe, also.
Was he?
He was young. He was young.
My God, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Remember Rob Niedermeyer was on Buffalo?
Oh yeah, I liked him. He was a good
2011.
player. He was a good player here.
Yeah. I remember he was good in the preseason. I was very excited about Rob Niedermeyer. He didn't do much point wise in regular season though.
No, he was a good guy to have around though. I think on that team.
Okay, Tampa Bay. They're going to be amazing. They're my cup pick. I think they're finally going to jump over the hump this year, especially if they can somehow get Carlson. And then we touched on Toronto earlier. I think they're going to be a surefire playoff team, maybe even compete for the Stanley Cup.
If I were to pick a juggernaut to win the cup, it would be Tampa. But
yeah,
the NHL, it's always somebody different. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing for predictions, but a good thing for the fan. But if I were to choose a favorite Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm not sure who my dark horse pick would be. We'll save it for the season preview.
Okay. Okay. So shall we get into questions now?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, we'll start on Twitter. Curtis asks, "What's the floor and ceiling for the team in points in the standings?"
Okay,
you can start.
Floor, I want to say 70. Ceiling, 86. That's just what my heart. I'm going with my heart.
The floor, I'm gonna say 70. Ceiling 85. I really don't think they're gonna have more than 85 points. Okay. Next one comes from True Sabres Talk. The first players to be brought up when we have injuries. I'm interested to see some of these new top Amherst get some games this year. Olofsson in particular. I'm wondering if, first of all, if Bailey and Baptiste pass through waivers, because if they don't make the team out of camp, they have to go through waivers to go down to Rochester. If they actually pass through waivers, I'm wondering if those two guys, along with CJ Smith, would be the ones to come up right away, or would they shift focus towards a Victor Olofsson, Rasmus Asplund, or maybe even Cliff Poo? For forwards, at least.
Forwards, I think CJ Smith, he's the first name that comes to mind. I think he's a step away from being opening night guy. I don't think he's going to make the team out of camp. I think he'll be a call-up guy at least. Maybe mid-season we'll see him take over that spot.
Yeah, with the guys that they acquired in trades, I don't know if Smith is a lock to make the team. He's probably either the first or second guy from Rochester to be called up. Yeah, I just don't. I think, if you're asking me to put an order on it, in my opinion, it would be Smith, Olofsson, Baptiste, Bailey, Asplund, Cliff Poo. I'm probably forgetting somebody.
Yeah, Bailey.
Malone, and O'Regan as well. Probably somewhere in there, along with where we put Bailey and Baptiste. As far as defensemen go, Lawrence Pilot would probably be number one for me.
Yeah.
What
about Will Borgen?
Will Borgen, I think just keep him down there the whole season. Let him develop. I don't think he's probably at least another year away from being NHL ready to step in, Chili wants to know what we think about 3-on-3 lineups. Eichel, Middlestat, Dahlin for one. And I don't. What else would they have as a second 3-on-3 lineup? You'd have Ristolainen on the back end. I wonder if they'd split up Eichel and Middlestat. I don't want them to, but I wonder if they would to kind of share the wealth,
Because the next center you have is like Gergensons. Do you want him on,
I do not want Gergensons out in overtime.
So I think, honestly, my heart tells me Eichel, Pominville, Dahlin.
Oh,
I know.
I don't want Jason Pominville anywhere near Jack Eichel anymore. I'm sorry. I
know.
It worked at times last season, but I just do not need to see that anymore.
I'm not saying I want to see it, but I think that's what the coaches will go with.
In an ideal world, Jason Pominville isn't even playing next season. That's what I'm hoping, at least. It's good to have him around in the locker room, for the younger guys.
I still like Pominville.
When he wasn't with Jack Eichel last year, he was just invisible. I'm sorry. He'll probably be playing on the fourth line if he's playing at all, and he's just not the same anymore. I love Jason Pominville just as much as the next guy, but he's just not the same player anymore.
I still want him to get a shot. I still want him to play. I think he's a good guy to have in the ice.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I just don't need him with Jack anymore.
Oh yeah,
I
keep him away
need
from Jack.
I need speed. I need speed with Jack.
Right.
Uh, okay. I can't think of any other 3-on-3 lineup besides Eichel, Middlestat, and
Me,
Dahlin.
Middlestat, Reinhardt, and Risto.
Okay,
That
I
would
could
be
see
fun.
that.
That would be fun.
Or Sherry,
Oh, it's right. Ooh. Oh, I'd like to see
Sherry versus the
Eichel, Sherry,
line.
and Dalian.
Yeah, Eichel, Sherry, Dahlin,
That would be fun.
Middlestat. Oh, Middlestat, Reinhardt, Bristow. Those are
Yeah,
two possibilities.
I like
Three
that one.
possibilities. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about power. Okay, power play units.
Oh,
We probably should have written this stuff down before we went into this, but we're going in blind. I'd like to see the number one power play unit. Darlene, I think he's going to take Risto's spot on the number one power play, which will make Risto's point production naturally go down, in my opinion. But yeah, have Darlene and then Eichel playing the off wing. The problem with moving O'Reilly is you don't have that guy to play center on the number one power play unit, but I wonder if Middlestat would be able to step into that.
I think you
I
have
don't.
Middlestat center of the line, Eichel off wing, Reinhardt on the other.
Oh yeah, you put Reinhardt in front of the net.
Mm-hmm. Then
Yeah, because
then put Opozo on the other wing.
yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Middlestat, or maybe put Tage Thompson on the off wing. I
True.
would
Yeah,
put
with a
Thompson.
shot.
Thompson definitely on the power play.
I'd like him more on the second pairing, though. I think the first
Yeah.
pairing you got to have your big guns attacking, your four forwards and one defenseman.
I would like to at least see Oposo get an opportunity on the number one power play unit just to see if you can, kind of spike his point production up.
How great would it be to get him going again?
Oh, that'd be great. If Oposo can
massive
be a 50, 55 point player again, and if Alex Nylander can come up and be what we hoped he'd be by now, this is a playoff team if everything goes right, but of course that doesn't happen most of the time. So we'll see. But, of course, Oposo has the full off season to develop again. Not to develop, but
get back into the right frame of mind.
Yeah, he what's the right word here? He's able to do what he couldn't do last year because he was, sidelined with that condition that he had. He had the full off season. He can do his training. He can do whatever he did in previous off seasons to get ready. So maybe he showed up out of shape to camp. I liked Oposo he started off terribly. There's no denying he was awful at the beginning of the season. He kind of got back on track a little bit and trailed off towards the end, but I'm excited to see if he can rebound off of a mediocre season. With the trade up for Ryan O'Reilly done, who else do we need to make this a possible playoff team? They need more wingers. They need
more wingers,
probably another scoring winger or two. That's what I'd say. And then another top four defenseman, maybe two of them.
Yeah, I don't think you gotta have too much defense. That's what.
With 3 first-round picks, what do they do with them? Or who could be picked with them, although I know it's super early for the 2019 draft. So with Buffalo's first-round pick, it's probably a top 10 pick. I'm just going off memory here. I haven't done a whole lot of research, but number 1 is Jack Hughes. He is, in my opinion, every bit as good as Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, those American players. What he did for the U.S. national development team was phenomenal. I think he might have broken records if my memory serves correct. He's going to be a very good player, and he was playing with the U18s as a 16-year-old. That's great. He's a really, really good player, talented. He's kind of undersized. He's undersized. There's no other way to put that, but he's going to be a really, really good player. That is in my opinion, a franchise center. That's just me, but some people think that he's more of a really, really, really elite player. I think by the time the draft is kicking around, people are going to be touting this guy's a franchise player. I think Jack Hughes is a franchise player. with the 2 later first-round picks. Oh, I'll mention a few more guys that would be in consideration for Buffalo's pick. Right now, it looks like second overall, Capo Kakko. He's out of Finland. He's a sniper. I've seen comparisons to Line A and what's his name, Svechnikov for him. He's going to be a really good player as well. Look for him at the World Juniors for Finland this year. Alex Newhook. He's playing in the the BCHL, I believe, with the Vancouver Grizzlies, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he's going to Boston College, I'm pretty sure. And that's why he's taking the Junior A route. I haven't seen much of him yet. I've seen a couple highlights, but he's pretty much consensus top 5 pick. There's also Peyton Krebs, who was the first overall pick in, I believe, the 2016 WHL Bantam draft. I don't think he wasn't invited. I don't think Canada invited any draft eligibles to their summer showcase. Peyton Krebs, he's a center too. And there's Bowen Byram, who's a defenseman with the Vancouver Giants, more of a stay-at-home guy, very good defensive side of his game. I've seen him a couple times watching WHL games. Those are some guys that come to the top of my mind. If I mentioned Cole Caulfield earlier, he's another player that I would love Buffalo to select with their first-round pick. The later picks, I'm very much against using a first-round pick on a goalie, but there's this guy named Spencer Knight. He's probably going to be on the World Junior team this year. He's a big body. I've seen people, I think Pierre Maguire compared him to Ken Dryden, I believe. So I'm excited to see him. I don't know what college he's going to. I don't remember, but yeah, I'm excited to see him in his draft year. He's the best goalie in the draft. I think that's pretty consensus at this point. But I don't know if it's wise to use a first-round pick on a goalie. When you have 3 first-round picks, you're able to do something like that. And they have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Linus Ullmark, but you can never have too many good goaltenders in your prospect pool. And if you're picking like 27th, and then, maybe they probably have a very high second-round pick too if they don't move it, using one of those picks on Spencer Knight of the U.S. development program might not be such a bad idea. Mm-hmm. And then Antoni Honka. I don't know. I haven't watched a whole lot of him. He'll probably be on the Finnish World Junior team. He's the brother of Julius Honka, who's a Dallas Stars prospect. Not even prospect. He plays for them now. He's a right-handed shot, Finnish defenseman. I don't know. He'll probably be off the board by the time those 2 other first-round picks are up. But, yeah, there's him. There's also Mikko Kokkonen, who's, I think, another more defensive-minded defenseman. So there's 2 Finnish defensemen there. I'm trying to think of some other guys off the top of my head, but that's about it for the options for the 3 first-round picks. Okay, then we've spent a lot of time on this, so I'll go to some of these Instagram questions really quickly. Let's talk about Eichel's number switch. We haven't mentioned that yet.
Well, let me start this by saying, if you are angry that he changed his number and say he's selfish, get a life. That's what I'm going to say. Get a life, okay? My theory, Joe, we have jerseys from this season. You have the blue and white 15s. What I would say is periodically relevant, that jersey.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't have to get – this is, newsflash. You don't got to buy a new jersey, okay?
Yep.
That jersey is periodically relevant to this season. I have my Winter Classic. I bought it at Sabre Store. It has the patches. It has everything. It's 15 on it. It's relevant to that game, okay? Don't get all sassy pants and say, he's so selfish, because the people who say that are the same people who are going to stand in line to get his autograph at training camp and worship him. So if you aren't a true Jack fan, then get out. That's what I'd say.
I like it. Oh, so if you heard that bang, I just dropped my phone. No cracks, so we're fine.
Good.
But yeah, I agree. I have 6 Jack Eichel jerseys, and is it annoying that he switched? If you bought a brand new Adidas 15 Jack Eichel jersey yesterday, well, yeah, I would be
Hmm.
annoyed too. But he wore 15 for 3 years. It's not
Right.
like it's worthless,
No.
and like you don't have to wear the jersey. He's not forcing you to go out and buy the new jersey. It's still
You
a Jack Eichel jersey. You can
you know what I think it
still
is?
wear it proud. It's vintage. In 25 years, you're going to show your grandkids, oh, look at this
Yeah. Look at this.
15 Jack Eichel
Look at this
jersey.
Jack. When you tell your grandson named Jack.
Yes.
Yes. You know what it is though? It is the people who are not as invested in the jersey culture as we are. Jerseys don't mean as much to them like they do to us. Where we get it. There's some people that
Yeah,
get jerseys, some that don't, and to some like we said, it might be relevant to a certain period. It's cool because it's a throwback. To others, it's about money and they because they cost.
exactly. And of course, some people don't have the money that they can just,
Absolutely. I don't
blow
mean to sound like
away
I'm
on
saying,
jerseys like that. But
yeah,
you know, I'm okay with it personally. I think number 9 is better than number 15. It looks cleaner. It's just a better number in general, in my opinion. Of course, Evander Kane just had to come over here and ruin it. But anyways, I'm excited. It's a new era, starting with Jack Eichel in number 9. Rasmus Dahlin is here, and jumping into the first question: will Eichel be the captain next season? Yes, he will. Jack Eichel will be wearing the C. I don't think there's any debating that. It's either he will be the captain or they will have all alternates again. I don't think there's anybody else on this team who is capable of wearing the C besides Jason Pominville, but he didn't even have an A last year, so why would they just give him the C?
I think we're gonna do all alternates. That's my theory.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went all alternates again, but you know what? Just
Ugh,
give the C to him at this point.
I know.
I,
I know.
how many points do you see Ristolainen scoring? That comes from Johnny.
45, I want to say. He's
Yeah,
always teetered
45 would be my
that.
guess too. If he has a really good, consistent season, maybe 50. But he's good for at least 40 points. Starting 6 defenseman. This comes from Eric. They have a lot of defensemen on their roster, but the guarantees, I would say Dahlin, Ristolainen, Scandella is a guarantee, Bogosian's a guarantee.
McCabe.
I don't know if McCabe's a guarantee.
Really? What do you think's happened?
Yes, because maybe they'll trade him. You never know. Because if a guy like Gooley comes in or a Pilot comes in and presses and steals a spot, they might have to move out some of these guys. Beaulieu, I don't think Beaulieu makes it. I think Gooley makes it. I do think McCabe will make it out, although I don't think it's a guarantee. They have Matt Hunwick. Don't forget about him. I always forget about Matt Hunwick. And Casey Nelson as well. Those are a bunch of guys that will be competing together.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to guess starting 6D, I would go Dahlin, Ristolainen, Scandella, Gooley, Bogosian, McCabe. And then one of Beaulieu, Nelson, or Matt Hunwick as a 7th guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe they go 8 defensemen. You never know. Maybe they'll keep 2 extra and just kind of rotate them in game by game.
I think the same, but I think if Bogosian isn't ready to go, then
I think he's ready to go. I'm pretty sure he's healthy. He's playing in the Beauty League, I believe.
Good. Okay, good. Then I'd have the same thing for that.
Yeah. Okay, next one comes from Josh. Who do you think has the best hands on the team?
Oh boy. I think Casey Middlestat might.
Yeah, I would go Middlestat or Dahlin. Dahlin has some very nice hands.
I think Middlestat just has yeah, you know what? I was gonna say
silky mitts.
Yeah, silky mitts. They don't call him silky mitts for nothing. I was gonna say Ike. He's like a step above Eichel, but I think Eichel's a step below Dahlin, and then Dahlin a step below Middlestat.
Yeah, I would go in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I would go Middlestat, Dahlin, and Eichel. How many games do you think Hutton and Allmark will play? Like half and half or 30-50? That comes from what's his name? Eric. Eric asked that question. I think Hutton will play more games. It'll probably be, like you said, 50-30.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if an injury happens, you never know. Maybe Allmark, plays better. and earns more playing time, but you just never know. I
Right.
think as of right now, Carter Hutton will play more games than
Yeah,
Lewis
I
Hallmark.
I must yeah, I do. I still think it'll be 50 for Hutton and about 32 for Allmark. Ease him into it a bit.
Uh, Next one comes from Five Hole Hut. He asks, will Olafson / Pilot make the team? I don't think they'll make the team out of camp, but if they don't get a handful of games in the NHL next year, I will be very, very, very surprised.
Yeah, they won't make the team out of camp. They'll be in Rochester, absolutely, but they won't
Yeah.
be on the main roster.
Next one comes from Brian. He asks, will either Larson or Gergensons get traded before the season starts? I don't think they'll get traded because why would anybody want them? Number one. If they don't make the team, they'll probably be waived, and I would imagine somebody would put in a claim. Like Ottawa,
Yeah.
a team that is starving for centermen, they could probably use a guy like Larson or Gergensen, especially if it's for free. But will Eugene Melnick want to pay them $1 million? That's the real question.
Even $1 million is too much for him.
Yeah.
I don't see us.
I'm not answering that question.
I don't see us making any more trades this offseason. I don't think.
I think they're done. They are done.
Yeah.
That is it.
It's too quiet around here.
Next one comes from Tufto18. He asks who will lead Buffalo in points? Jack Eichel. I think we can say that together, right?
Jack.
Eichel's going to explode. I'm expecting 90 points out of him this season. He is going to take that next step.
I'm hoping for it.
Most under the radar Saber. That comes from Steve, and he believes it is Scott Wilson.
Yeah. All right.
Under the radar. Jeez. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think. I'm gonna have to think about this. You're gonna go with Scott Wilson?
I want to. I'm just racking my brain to see if there's anyone else.
I'm gonna pull up the roster and look at it.
I
think Scott Wilson is probably one of the better under the radar guys. I'm just gonna.
It depends. Like, I don't know in this context what under the radar means. That's the only thing.
Not like. Ooh, what? You know what? I'm gonna go Vladimir Sabaka.
Okay.
Sabaka.
I'm gonna stick with my boy Scotty Wilson.
Mm-hmm. You love Scotty Wilson.
I love.
You know what? Evan Rodriguez.
Okay.
Under the radar.
I think he was Tim Murray's best signing.
Yes, Murray did make, for all the flack that he gets, he did make a couple of good college free agent signings, and Evan Rodriguez and CJ Smith.
Yes.
So, yeah, Evan Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is going to have a good season next year. I believe he'll have to go through waivers too, along with Bailey Baptiste, but, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't make the team.
Right.
I'll just looking through a couple more of these to see if there's any other worth addressing here. Oh, which Saber has the biggest surprise / breakout season?
Let me think. Well, surprise. That's.
I'm gonna go with. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I'm going to go Tage Thompson just so I don't steal yours, but I think Thompson's going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to really surprise people.
I love what I've seen from Allmark. He's looked like an NHL goalie.
Yes, even going back to, 3 years ago when Leonard got hurt, he didn't look out of place then. Of course, he was kind of flopping around like a fish a little bit a couple of times.
Yeah, that's right. I used to think he was a fish.
He's more technically sound now. I really like him as a goalie. I'm hoping that he can be the answer long term. Most likely to I think we tweeted that out a few days ago. The most likely to disappoint on this team. Somebody that is going to take a step back, if you will. I don't know. Carter Hutton. That's my
You're gonna go
pick. I
with
think,
that? Okay.
yeah, Carter Hutton's the most likely to disappoint, in my opinion. How is Hutton
I
making less than Jonathan Bernier? He's making 275. Bernier's making three, both on a 3-year deal. That's interesting.
let me ponder this for a minute or two. I gotta go with my gut. I think Risto.
Bristow to disappoint.
Yeah, yeah.
That would not be good. I'm just
No,
gonna say that.
it would not be good.
Okay, I think that's it for questions. Yeah, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, yeah. We'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for listening. Of course, we'll come with you. I'm sure a few more this summer.
Yeah, we'll
But
probably
hey,
try and
I
get a
mean,
couple of guests on.
yeah, yeah. We're in preliminary talks with pretty cool Sabres dude. We'll get back
Yeah,
to you on that. Not player, Sabres community guy, but
yeah, Sabres
uh,
Twitter.
yeah, Sabres Twitter. Yeah, thank you for joining us, everyone. The more of these we put out, I mean, over time, that just means the closer we are to the season starting, which is fun.
A few months away. We're almost there.
Yeah, almost there. 2 months from training, less than 2 months from training camp, actually.
Mhm. And of course, if you enjoyed, we'd love to hear your feedback. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Charging Buff. You can follow me on Twitter at JoeTCBNHL. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Luke TCB. That's LVKE on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And as always, we appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.